On today's ChurchTechCast.com Q&A show, network speed, third-party Bibles, and customized backgrounds. Hi, and welcome again to the ChurchTechCast.com Q&A show. This is the show where every week I answer your questions about church tech. My name is Paul Allen Clifford. I'm your host. And I'd love for you to ask your questions. So just do so right under the video if that's what you're watching. If you're not, if you're listening to the audio, perfectly acceptable as well. Don't feel like a second-class citizen. Just drop me a line on email, paul@trinitydigitalmedia.com, or Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanClif over on Twitter. Either of those are fine. I also have a 1-800 number. You can find all that information at trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact if that's better for you. So Betty Jane on one of my Twitter videos, actually from just over a week ago, said, would love to hear more about how to gauge internet speed with other users on network and how to approach a fix. If the internet is set up with multiple Wi-Fi access and the live stream setup is hardwired, during use determined which connection is logging and loading, if any, and then how to fix it. I don't think people take that added strain on Wi-Fi in the cushion to consider. How can it be monitored by some real numbers? Speed test rate, overall connection only. Good question, Betty Jane. So what I would do is I would talk to the IT person who's in charge of the network. Usually, at least on consumer routers and professional routers as well, but not all of the consumer routers, so it depends on your network. There is the ability to see who all is connected, and since in this case you've got a wired connection and a wireless connection, you can check, okay, how much data is the wireless connection sucking down, and then you can take a look at the wired connection in comparison. If you have it as a possibility, I think what I would do is put the wireless connection on secondary internet access, maybe get DSL for your location where you don't have a lot of speed, but it's something, and put all the Wi-Fi on that and keep the hardwired to your main internet connection, because as you say, you don't want people uploading videos at the wrong time or surfing the internet or doing something that would jeopardize your live stream. So that's exactly what I would do. John Nigron on YouTube asks, I understand with other software like Easy Worship you can upload different translations. Do you know the format the ProPreseter uses? So I dug into it, and if you download a Bible from ProPreseter, I just looked at the public domain Bibles. First off, it's a disk image. I opened that up, having mounted it on my desktop, and there's a PKG file, which is an installer. So I then looked at the contents of that package and found that there were several files, and the one that's actually the Bible is a Unix executable file. So I don't know how you're going to take a text file or anything, but I quite frankly don't know why you would want to unless you've got some really odd translation that you're using. And if you think that this is the only good translation, that just from someone that knows a little bit about textual criticism, you might know that I've got a background in seminary. Took a class, there were 3 of us in the class. Okay, so I learned a lot because I had to show up. Professor knew immediately when I wasn't there. So I've got a little bit of background in it. If you think that one particular translation is the only good one, that's actually a problem, because the original languages are not easy to get exactly perfect copies of into English. So it's much better to read from multiples, and then you get shades of meaning in each translation. So, sorry, that's not technical, that's just something on my heart, because occasionally I'll talk to someone that says, oh yeah, this particular version is the only good one. That's actually not true at all. It can't be true. The only really good version of the Bible that's absolutely perfect, as well as we can do, is the original texts. And the older the text is, the more likely it is to be original. And older translations actually have newer texts in them because we found older stuff since. Sorry, not technical at all, just an aside. Richie Jimenez on my Facebook page asked, can you customize backgrounds on the fly in propreseter? Actually, you can. In fact, you can take one background and put it several places in a single song, right-click on each background, go to Media Properties, and then customize each and every one of those. So you could potentially have a verse where it's green, a verse where it's red, a verse where it's purple, a verse where it's fuzzy, etc., a verse where it's inverted. So you have a lot of latitude in that, and you can do that with a single background and make it look somewhat different each time you click on it, which is a pretty cool feature. I'm trying to figure out a way to do like a color gradient change, and maybe that's something we'll cover in a future episode if I figure out how to do it, because I know that it's not technically supported. So I hope that helped you. I hope one of those was one of your questions that you just hadn't asked, or maybe you're one of these people that asked the question and when I wrote you back, I gave you more details. Doesn't matter. Either way, I hope that's helpful to you. If you like this content, don't hesitate to sign up for my newsletter, by the way, trinitydigitalmedia.com/gifts, GIFTS, and you can pick one of a few different gifts that I have for you, absolutely free of charge, along with a free copy of my newsletter. So I'd love for you to join me there. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with trinitydigitalmedia.com.